Baby girls, baby boys, baby NBs, it's time to get cozy, pull out your project, grab your favorite drink, grab your favorite snack. Let's crochet and chit-chat together. Hey babes! Welcome back to Moonbae Crochet. It is Brandy, and today I just wanted to do a nice fun chill video with you guys. Give you guys some updates, give you guys some little blurbs, some cute little anecdotes, if you will, while we work on our projects. Tell me what you're working on in the comments below. In case you are new here, my name is Brandy. I love to do crochet content on here, sharing patterns that I love, showing you guys finished projects or whips, having a cute, fun crochet and chit-chat moment with y'all, sometimes reading stories, just getting cute, cozy, and crafty with you. So if any of that kind of content sounds interesting to you, I would love it if you would consider subscribing, sticking around. We have lots of fun here. And without further ado, let's hop into our projects. So today I'm actually working on a blanket for a Christmas gift, and I haven't shown you guys this one yet. I actually do have a video planned to go up very soon regarding like progress that I've been making on Christmas gifts that I planned. You know, I did my whole little Christmas in July series where I started showing off the projects that I was going to be making for certain people for the holidays. Since then, I have made some adjustments to certain things that I'm making. I have changed my mind altogether about certain things that I was planning to make, and I decided, you know what, I'm going to go with something else instead. And I also have made, some progress on some of my projects that I did start in my Christmas in July series. So I feel like I should back up. I don't think you guys can see my work very well. Is that better? Hopefully. So how are all of you guys doing today? I feel like I haven't done one of these in forever. I feel like a ton of people, found my channel because of my reading of Reddit stories, but I'm trying to not put myself in a box, I don't want that to be the only thing that I'm known for on here. So I do try to keep it fun and fresh. I'm also running very dry on Reddit stories. There are only so many out there, at least that pertain to crochet and knit and crafting, that kind of thing. So they're getting a little harder to come by. I was toying with the idea of I wonder if I should just start reading regular Reddit stories, that don't have to do with crafting. But then I thought, I don't know, that's not very crochet niche of me. My whole channel is dedicated to crochet. I don't really feel like it would fit very well if I read Reddit stories that didn't have to do with crochet. So I don't know, you guys can let me know. Or if there's other types of videos that you like to see on crochet channels that maybe I haven't touched on yet. Oh my gosh, can you guys believe that we are finally in the Burr months? 4 months left of the year. That's actually insane. Where is the time going? And I can't believe how much creeps up on you at this time of year, I don't know. I don't know if this happens to you guys, but I feel like I get my most creative when September rolls around. Even if it's still hot outside, my brain is oh my gosh, it's fall. And something about fall, all the coziness, all the beautiful pumpkin recipes that you start to see, all the soup recipes, the cutesy, jazzy music, the outfits. I don't know. Something about fall really, really sparks my creativity, And with that being said, I get so many ideas. I mean, I get ideas all throughout the year, quite frankly. But something about fall really makes me oh my gosh, I want to do this. I want to make this. I want to do this for Christmas gifts. I want to crochet these for decor. I want to, all this stuff, right? However, fall, I feel also zooms by in a heartbeat. You think, okay, I have so many ideas. I have to do this and that. Me in particular, for example, right now I have a whole laundry list of things that I need to do for my market coming up in November. I have maybe not as huge of a list, but definitely a list of crochet items that I want to make for Christmas gifts this year. And then it's okay, you find yourself on September 5th. Excited, but maybe a tad overwhelmed, thinking, oh my gosh, I have so much to do. I have to crochet this and that and the other. And then you tell yourself, well, relax. You still have 3 months until Christmas. Even maybe not just yourself. You might have people in your real life that you're lamenting to, telling you this, like, oh, like, don't worry about it. You still have more than 3 months until Christmas. You still have like just under 3 months until your market. You still da 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 da. It's like all this, you still, right? You still have X amount of time. And then when it comes down to it, you know, open your eyes one day and it's November 20th and you're like, hold on. Where is the time going? What's going on? I sincerely do not like how quickly time goes by in the fall time. And maybe it also has something to do with the fact that, you know, when the time change happens, you know, the daylight hours get way shorter, you know, but I don't know. Personally, to me, that's not an issue. I feel like I do my best crochet at night anyway, but I don't know. It is a little frustrating, intimidating, just to know, like, wow, I have so much to do and so little time to do it. And it's like, I know if I focus, I can get it done, but it's just hard, man. It's hard. At least for me. It's so hard for me. It's because it's nothing to do with like, oh, I don't feel like doing that today. I don't feel like crocheting today. It's not really that. I've actually been particularly motivated to crochet lately. Like, so far, no loss of crojo or anything. Knock on wood, of course. But to me, it's mainly just I get so in my head about how much time I have left, and then I'm just such a very easily distracted person, especially if I'm doing something with very repetitive stitches, or I have to do a lot of rows of the same stitch over and over again, like, you know, in amigurumi or something like that. And amigurumi is quick, like I know that I can finish one in one sitting, but it can be very difficult for me to just stay laser focused on it, you know. It's like I always gotta have like 5 crochet projects going at the same time, because if one starts to bore me, I can pick up another, but at the same time, and then it's like I get overwhelmed with the amount of whips that I have. Am I like resonating with anybody out there, or are these problems specific to me? In other news, September is also a very fun month for me because other than like Labor Day, you know, there's not really any holidays going on in September. So other than like the official start of fall, in my head at least, I think it starts like the 20-something of September. In my head, like September 1st is fall. But something else is very fun in fall, and that is the return of NFL football. Funny story, before I got together with my man, I did not know a thing about football or really any sport, to be quite honest. Now, I'm not saying that this is a similar, you know, situation with everybody. However, I grew up with like no men in my life. Like, yes, I had some uncles or, you know, whatever, but like I didn't really like spend too much time with them. It's like if I was there, then I was hanging out with like my cousins that were like around my age, you know? And so, other than my aunt, who is like the biggest San Francisco 49er fan that I know, still to this day, you know, I grew up with a single mom, and she was not into sports. She didn't know anything about sports. And so I, you know, wasn't really exposed to sports in my life growing up, you know, other than, like I said, my one aunt. Whenever I'd go over to my grandma's, her room was all decked out in Niner gear. But I don't know, I felt like when a game was on, I wasn't in there with her watching it. Or if I was, I didn't really understand it. I was a little young. And so I would just sit out with my grandma watching, you know, crime shows. Law and Order, Criminal Minds, like whatever, you know? And I still very much am into shows like that. However, when I got with my man, who is like the first partner I've ever had who is like into sports. He played sports growing up. He's always been into sports. He loves baseball. He played baseball. But his favorite sport, like the one that truly owns his heart, is football. And I learned very quickly that his whole family is very into football. And the fun thing is, everybody in his family likes a different team. It makes it very fun and interesting when, you know, football season comes back, because there's always something on to watch. Always. Whether it's because it's a really good matchup for the week, or whether it's because someone's team is playing right now, you know? Like our brother's team is playing right now, or my man's team is playing right now, or mom's team is playing, you know? It makes it very fun and interesting. And so, yeah, I learned very quickly when I got with him, like, oh, okay, I need to kind of adopt this into my life because I don't understand a thing about football, but maybe this guy can teach me, and maybe, you know, I can fit in here. I can have some fun on Sundays. And lo and behold, like 8 years later, here I am, a connoisseur, if you will. You'll notice I wore my Carolina Panthers sweatshirt for just such occasion. I got this from Dead Threads, by the way. I love their designs. So great. But yeah, we had our fantasy football draft last night. And I say our because, yes, I am in the league. It took about maybe 3 or 4 years for me to be with my man. And like, you know, I hear him lamenting about his fantasy football team, how he needs this guy to score, even though he's like playing on opposition of the Bills. And I'm like, why do you want that guy to score? Like, he's playing your team. And he's like, I need it for my fantasy. And I'm like, okay, like I didn't get it, okay? But the more I would hear him talk about these things, and I would see him get so excited or like so wound up over what was going on with his fantasy football team, I'm like, this seems interesting. And then one year he was like really complaining that he didn't have, like, I don't know, somebody dropped out of the league or something. He's the commissioner. And he, you know, was like desperately looking for another player. And so I told him, well, let me play. And he's like, no. He's like, no. You're not going to get it. It's going to be too much work to like, you know, basically make me understand all the rules and stuff like that. But anyway, eventually come down to it. He was so desperate and couldn't find anybody else. I'm in. And yeah, it took maybe about 4 years of me playing, but let's just dust this bad boy off right here. I hope my ring light doesn't make this look horrible, but do you see that right there? Huh? 2024 champ, Brandy. And my team, the Broken Glass Kids, will cut you. If somebody can tell me what that is a reference to, I will love you forever. Yes, yes, yes. I was the champ last year, and boy, was it so sweet. Just so sweet, knowing that I beat 11 grown men at their own little game. Truthfully, it's a feat, okay? Ooh, you know, actually, not last year, but the year before, I started this little series where, on my personal TikTok page, not even on my crochet one, where I called it Dismantling the Patriarchy or something. Dismantling the Patriarchy, or yeah, something like that. And where I basically just kind of gave updates on how my fantasy team was doing, because I'm the only woman in a 12-man league. Well, I'm the 12th, but you know what I mean. And I really wish I would have done it for this last year because look at me, I won, you know? But yeah, it was very fun. And so anyway, we did our fantasy draft last night, and I have a throne to uphold now, you know? I want to put all these men to shame once again. And the cash prize doesn't hurt either. But yeah, it's a fun time. You know, never in a million years would I have thought that I would be doing something like this. You know, I always just thought of this as kind of like a boys thing. But you know what? From that one episode of r/Am I the Asshole stories that I read, where I got really worked up at the end there about how there's no such thing as boy hobbies and girl hobbies. It's true. There isn't. Women can have just as much fun at something like this as men can. And I stand on that. I have such a fun time doing fantasy. I mean, fun. Yeah, like, you know, if you're a competitive person, as I am, I wouldn't suggest doing fantasy football unless you like to have your Sundays just riddled with just anxiety right here in your throat. Like you can't breathe, you know? I don't think I've ever beat somebody but like by a blowout. My freaking matchups always come down to the wire and I can't stand it. Why can't I just enjoy my damn Sundays, you know? Heaven forbid if your freaking matchup goes into Monday and you're like relying on your kicker to get you like 12 points or something, you know? The last 2 years, actually, I had Josh Allen as my quarterback. Fire. That man, he's Superman. I love him. But my gosh, this year I just figured, okay, there's no way I'm going to get Josh Allen for a third year in a row. Like, someone's going to grab him. Somebody is. He's one of those top tier quarterbacks. So I figured, okay, this year I'm not going to draft a quarterback early. I'll wait for one of the less, like, not superstar status quarterbacks. I'll get, you know, one of the decent ones. Okay. I was so damn close to getting Baker Mayfield. That's really who I wanted. My so loving nickname for Baker Mayfield is the Muffin Man. You get it? Baker? Yeah, everybody got it. Okay. I wanted Baker Mayfield, and right before I was going to draft, like, he was right there, and I figured, okay, nobody's going to be, like, rushing to get Baker Mayfield. No. The guy right before me snatched him up. I was like, so upset. So upset. That ruined my draft. So anyway, I got Brock Purdy. I have a nickname for him too. I have a nickname for everybody in the league. So never mind, we're not going to get into that right now. But yeah, I got Brock Purdy. And it really doesn't please me to know that I'm going to be cheering for a 49ers quarterback. Okay? You would think, Brandy, you're a Cali girl. Shouldn't you, like, be happy to get the San Francisco 49ers quarterback? No, I do not like the San Francisco 49ers, okay? In fact, I can't stand them. But worse than them, I can't stand their fans. And I know what I just said about my aunt being the biggest Niner fan in the world. She is the exception to the rule, okay? She's not the rule. She has had a passion for the Niners since before I was born. She's not some bandwagon fan from when they started to get good, okay? And she's also not just a fan of them because they're from Cali, you know? She just has such a genuine love for them. She's the most just pure, innocent person on this planet, and I love her so much. So anyway, she's been through the trenches with that team, and she's seen the highs and she's seen the lows. So the only exception of, like, when the Niners win and I'm like, boo, screw the Niners, you know, I do have a little thought in the back of my head that's like, well, I know my aunt is super happy right now. And then I get a little less upset that the Niners won. But other than that, if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't spit on them if they were on fire, you know? I would. I'm not a horrible person. But you know what I mean, okay? Not a Niner fan. Not at all. So, you know, it doesn't please me to have picked up their quarterback, but, you know, sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. My man has Tyreek Hill on his team. He had him last year too. And, you know, as we all know, Tyreek is a Dolphin. And my man is a huge Bills fan, so that does not please him either. But it is what it is. Sometimes you just got to go for the talent. And look, I'm not over here saying that Brock Purdy is super talented, you know. I do kind of like his story of being Mr. Irrelevant, and all of a sudden he, like, just blew up and became the starting quarterback. Like, good for you, kid. However, I really feel like it's a lot to do with, like, your offensive line. Like, I don't think Brock Purdy could, like, do well on a team that is just horrible, you know. Like, send Brock Purdy to the Tennessee Titans and you'd have an issue. Anyway, all that being said, I'm really, really excited for football season, okay? I have four favorite seasons, okay? They go as follows: fall, winter, Christmas, and football. Those are my 4 favorite seasons. It's just the best. I love my life. Football season is the best. There's always something exciting going on. Fall is obviously the best. It, like, brings out the cozy vibes, you know. I love winter because of all the pretty lights, and obviously, you guys know, Christmas owns my heart. It takes up, you know, so much space in my brain constantly. I just love it. I really want to, like, do cutesy things. Like, every single football Sunday this year, I want to make something fun to eat. Whether it be, like, a fun appetizer or a cutesy dinner. I want to do, like, maybe soups, you know, Sunday soup, you know. I don't know. Like, I want to try out fun new things that I've never made, like buffalo chicken dip, crab rangoon dip. Is that a thing? I don't know, but lots of fun, cozy ideas that I want to try during this football season, and I'm very excited. What is your guys' favorite thing about this time of year? You know, like, once we hit September, you know, what are you most looking forward to? Obviously, I think you guys can tell that other than, like, Christmas, football is my favorite thing. Because, man, I feel like I started talking really fast and passionately a second ago. But I want to hear what your guys' favorite things are. Also, are there any fun recipes that I should be on the lookout for during this fun football, fall, winter season, because you guys, I'm always down to try a new fun recipe. I really do want to start getting more into posting on my Saber Moon channel. You know, this channel right here, my Moon Bae Crochet, is obviously my priority. This is my baby. I love it so much. I've been nurturing it. It's growing so much, like more than I ever anticipated within a year. So I really like to thank you guys. But yeah, I would like to start posting more on my other channel as well, because I have so many fun ideas that don't pertain to crochet, so those ideas don't really belong here. But you know, I have a whole other side of my life. And even though crochet is like a huge part of it, I also love to do other things like bake and cook and just talk. So obviously you guys know I love to talk. So I don't know. I would love to start padding out that channel more with just all the things that I love that aren't crochet, you know? But yeah, okay. I got like 2 full rows done of this. Look how gorgeous this is turning out. Oh my goodness. This is gonna be one of those crochet bouquet blankets. I'm also working with 2 skeins of yarn at the same time. That's why it's like doubled here. I can't even separate them, but yeah, it's doubled right now because I didn't have any like purple that was chunky weight, so I figure just use a 6mm hook and 2 of the balls of Care and Simply Soft at the same time, and it'll work out. And so far I think it has. This is gonna be such a thick, warm, gorgeous blanket. I love it. Please let me know what you worked on during this video. Please, again, drop your recipe ideas for this fall season. I love cozy things, soups, dips, bready things, desserts, of course. But yeah, okay, I'd like to thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today. If you enjoyed this video, please feel free to give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you're not already. I would like to thank you all so much for being here. As always, I so appreciate you. Hope everybody has an amazing rest of your day, week, month, and night. Whatever you're having, please enjoy yourself, and I will see you all in the next one. Mwah. Bye!